Watch this. Before the blue turf, Fiesta Bowls, and everything that comes with the legend of Boise State athletics, came those who helped pave the way. We're diving into the story of Broncos athletics' first black athletes and the legacy they've created since. Down at the Idaho State House, they're hitting all the big topics, including election integrity, abortion laws, and more. We're taking a look at the major talkers in the Idaho politics world. And the Olympic action rolls on, and so does the Office Olympics. Join us for the latest installment of Triumph, Heartbreak, and Office Glory. And welcome to the 208 Friday edition. I'm Joe Paris. Telling the truth about our history is an important step in being honest with ourselves as a community. There's good, there's bad, there's everything in between. But without our history, the context of what we do now is totally lost, and with it, valuable perspectives and lessons. With that said, a group of former Boise State athletes embarked on a journey to tell the history and story of Broncos athletics' first black athletes. It's a story you probably haven't heard, but it certainly helped build the amazing Bronco culture and program that this community is now so proud of. Before the blue, before Fiesta Bowls, and before growing success on the hardwood, all came the legacy that helped pave the way for Boise State athletics. The door to the past shows us the significance of the road traveled for Boise State. And Bronco legends from decades past will tell you, success is rooted in a long and storied history of athlete acceptance and outreach from the university, especially for black athletes in the 1960s, 70s, and 80s, who were not accepted the same way that they were at Boise State.
There must have been something good about the community and our experience there for us to make a decision to stay, in some cases, raise our families.
Mike Campbell played football for Boise State in the early 1970s. Now, he and a team of former Broncos are working to profile the accomplishments and history of the first black athletes at Boise State. All of it as a part of the Boise State Legacy Project. As Campbell explains, the experience black athletes had at Boise State in the 70s and 80s was very different than in other places.
The community and the university really pulled together and understood the importance of welcoming all athletes from all races, and that very positive things can come out of that when people are treated respectfully.
I've got lifelong friends that I cherish to this day because of that place.
Athletes like BSU basketball standout Trent Johnson say their experiences at BSU in the 70s set them up for success on and off the court. It's a much different experience than some athletes had in other parts of the country where they received less resources and unfair treatment because of the color of their skin.
It wasn't about were you black, were you white, or whatever, or you were in Boise, Idaho. It was that you had an opportunity to get an education. You had an opportunity to play a sport. And then obviously the numbers were few. You know, there might have been 15 guys or 12 guys on the football team. There were maybe 3 of us on the basketball team. But I have lifelong friends through the sport that are white and black, and that my experience there is catapulted me into whatever success I've had after Boise State.
Success on and off the playing surface has been clear for the Legacy Group. Former athletes went on to contribute to the Boise community and beyond in a huge variety of fields.
As we look at these profiles that we gathered, every single one of them, you can see the progression that each individual made to better himself.
Booker Brown played basketball for BSU from 1971 to 73. He says his experience at Boise State helped set the stage for the rest of his life. He even made sure to mention to then Governor Cecil Andrus that Boise and Idaho were very special places.
I used to tell Mr. Andrus that I'm the biggest promoter of Boise, Idaho that you could ever imagine.
In recent years, black athletes from major college athletic programs have spoken out about how they feel they are treated. Many highlight systemic issues that take advantage of black athletes. In light of calls for change at major universities, the team at the BSU Legacy Project thought it was important to highlight the positive experiences they had at Boise State. It's important to remember our history and how we got here today.
I didn't really see black or white. What I saw was an opportunity to play basketball and an opportunity to get an education.
Carl Powell played basketball for the Broncos in the 1970s. He says the opportunity to get a quality education at BSU as a black student athlete was crucial for his future success.
I came into Boise State with some short givings in terms of education. Didn't have the foundations that I needed. And the professors there, not all, the majority of the professors there at Boise State were there to help us.
These beautiful displays profile more than 25 black athletes that help pave the way for future athletes. Hosted at the Idaho Black History Museum, the stories tie in with a major theme at the museum: a seat at the table.
Idaho provided and afforded blacks an opportunity that was denied them elsewhere, and that history has just not been told, and we don't get credit for it. And it's time that we actually stand up and say, hey, wait a minute, we haven't done everything wrong. We need not vilify everybody. Idaho really had some remarkable things going on.
Phillip Thompson is the executive director of the Idaho Black History Museum. His grandfather, Aurelius Buckner, was the first black football player in school history. Thompson says the inclusion and treatment of black athletes through the 70s and 80s benefited the entire community as a whole.
Changed the fabric of Boise as a city, and I don't care what you think personally, once you actually have relationships with somebody that you deem the other, it tends to change your perspective a bit, and you start to respect them as a human.
These are people who really had an impact during their time at Boise State University, on the university, on their fellow students, athletes, teachers, coaches, and it's great to be able to remember the legacies that they had left here and what they went on to do afterwards.
Andy Scoggins serves on the Idaho Black History Museum Advisory Board. He says the Legacy Project is a perfect intersection of history and the theme of a seat at the table.
There is a table, and that therefore there are multiple seats around it versus a throne or a podium, or where you don't, there's only one voice. A table says that there are multiple people sitting together, and a place at that table means your voice is part of that group that's joining together.
For the team leading the Boise State Legacy Project, Mike Campbell, Trent Johnson, Booker Brown, and Carl Powell, the project is a way to open a door to the past and to acknowledge the unique experiences black athletes had and the legacy that it helped everyone build.
Just some really amazing accomplishments of these guys that we highlighted in the project. We just wanted to have those things exposed, recognized, and establish a legacy of the black athletes that were the early arrivals at Boise, and help lay that foundation for the school to expand their recruiting and further into the metropolitan areas. Not only did they succeed on the field, but also off the field, using that foundation they established as Boise State student athletes.
We are exactly 1 month into the 2022 legislative session, and lawmakers are deep into major topics: abortion, critical race theory, election integrity. Oh my! Ahead, we dive into the big-time debates down at the Capitol. Any other major debates you're passionate about? Tell us about it, or basically anything else. And you can text us right now. Here's the number, 208-321-5614. Just be sure to include your name and the hashtag to 208, and seriously, send us almost anything. We'll be reading some of your comments live at the end of the show.
Sometimes we have issues so important to the people of Idaho that we need a pause to make sure we get the language just right. And this was certainly one of those cases.
Lawmakers said it would be back, and it is. Last month, the Senate State Affairs Committee failed to advance an abortion bill, one that would mostly follow the state of Texas's lead. Now, that original bill, it would have outlawed abortions as soon as a fetal heartbeat is detected in Idaho, and it would have given extended family members the right to sue the doctor that performed the abortion. But a committee was torn, voting 4-4 on that bill. Those against it said that it needed several changes before they would even consider advancing it. So, 2 weeks later, the bill is back with some of those changes.
With this new RS, we've been extra careful to make sure that this does not affect familial rights and responsibilities in other areas of Idaho law, like domestic relations or CPS, etc.
And that's something that Senator Abby Lee from Fruitland said was an issue for her the last time around. One of the reasons why she voted against the legislation. But today, she changed her mind. She voted yes, advancing new legislation. And altogether, it did pass the committee and will get a public hearing. But not everyone's mind was changed on the topic.
As things stand today, this bill is unconstitutional on its face. Until Roe versus Wade is overturned, that is the constitutional law of the United States on this issue.
Senator Burgoyne is correct, but it's important to point out that last year, Governor Little signed a trigger bill into law that should Roe v. Wade ever be overturned, nearly all abortions in Idaho would be outlawed. Well, here on the 208, as you know, we love getting your comments and messages sent to us. I know some of you sending in some right now, we're watching, but you really like to send in some things that we can follow up on. And Steve texted us this afternoon to ask this question. He asked if Representative Dorothy Moon showed up to the meeting last night that was supposed to be held in Boise County. If you missed yesterday's show, we told you about a meeting up in Idaho City that was supposed to take place between Representative Moon and members of that community, specifically within the Basin School District. Now, that was after she made unsubstantiated claims during a committee meeting that that school district, the Basin School District, was including critical race theory in their curriculum. Well, that meeting was supposed to start at 6 o'clock yesterday, and we got word just after our show ended here on Thursday at 5:30 that the meeting was postponed. The reason, you may ask? There were too many people. The room that they had planned to have the meeting in at the Boise County Library, well, they just couldn't fit everyone because the max number of people they could fit inside, 35. We're told there's way more than 35 there, and it turns out the library was expecting more than 35, so they decided to postpone it. No word yet on if and when that meeting's going to be rescheduled. As always, keep you posted. Curling, skeleton, aerial skiing, all really impressive Olympic events. Well, we have something that they don't have at the regular Olympics. We have the Office Olympics here in the KTVB building, and we have some critically acclaimed competition coming up here on the 208. It's news versus marketing on the keyboard. Stay tuned to figure out what that means. And you can tell us what you're thinking about this or anything else happening here in Idaho. We'd love to hear from you, so text us 208-321-5614. Please be sure to include your name and hashtag the 208. In about 10 minutes, we'll be reading your comments live on air. So stick around. We'll be back. theme there is that all the countries doing well in the Olympics are cold weather countries, right? Well, it's day 7 of the Beijing Winter Olympic Games, and some major events already in the history books. You've watched it all here on 7, and of course, action continues only on KTVB later on this evening. It's a great spot on Friday night. But if you were with us last Friday, I'm sure the next sentence is going to be very exciting for you. The KTVB Office Olympics also continues this week, and last week a lot of you wrote in about the Office Olympics, and one of you called it awesomely lame. Seems about right, yeah? Well, this week it's Team News taking on Team Marketing in the very competitive sport of typing. Roll the tape.
The KTVB Office Olympics return with the newsroom holding a commanding 1-0 lead over their counterparts from marketing. Today's challenge is the type you can really appreciate. A clash featuring characters and symbols that are quickly assembled in an effort to highlight a critical skill set in our industry. Simply put, which keyboard crusher can push their car across the finish line while accurately spelling out the most words in a minute? On the news side, we have Shira, you better spell check Matsuzawa. And on the marketing side, well, Bradley.
Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the best typer, so I'm a little worried. But also, I have an injury. I mean, I don't know if you saw, but I have a broken nail, and then I try to super glue it. It doesn't look very good.
You know, I've been practicing over the past week or so, but Shira also types more than me for her job, so she definitely has that advantage.
I mean, we type everything, right? Like our scripts, our packages, and that type of thing. So you'd think I'd be really good at this. Let's do this. I'm ready. I'm nervous.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I feel like your one went first. Down near the border. Nope, shoot. Shoot, go back. I think my first grade teachers will be very disappointed with me right now.
You're right behind me, I'm worried.
Easy, all we want to
Oh no, this is not usually how I do.
Was a, oh my gosh, go back. Are you sure? Don't.
Woo!
Wait.
Yeah!
Well, I failed.
We were neck and neck though. I was 51 words per minute, you were 47 words per minute.
Oh, okay, so I was like right there.
That's pretty dang close.
I hope my news team doesn't get mad at me for losing.
What was your reaction at the end of the race?
Complete disbelief, because I rarely win anything, so this was a new experience for me.
Well, Shira, I gotta tell you, as a member of the news team, I thought you did a great job. And how's your nail? I know this is like a post-game reaction. How's your injury?
I know. So it broke on Wednesday, and so I went and got super glue, and I tried to open the super glue, and it exploded on my nail, and so it was really ugly. But I fixed it this morning. I don't know if you can say, but
oh, it looks great. Yeah, we're in 4K,
it's all
right?
repaired.
Yeah.
But I still lost.
The question I think the people at home have is, we couldn't see the screen. From what I understand, it was randomly generated. You had to copy it, and we couldn't control the words. So some of the words we couldn't show on TV.
Yeah, so it gives you like this prompt, and then you type away, and if you make a mistake, it won't let you forward past that prompt, that sentence. But you all heard Bradley say he practiced. I did not know. I didn't even know what the program was. So
there you go. All right.
There's my reason.
Well, Shira, thanks for working hard here on Team News. Okay, so we're tied 1-1 news and marketing heading into next week. Shira, before we let you go, in terms of the Olympic action, how do you compare Office Olympics to the real Olympics? It's the same, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely dedication, practice, yeah.
Injuries?
You know, some people tear their ACL. I broke my nail.
Okay, well, you know, it's a commonalities. Well, Shira, thank you so much. And of course, we'll see you tonight on the news at 10. We'll see you then. going to be pretty nice on Monday if you bring a rain jacket with you. All right, so we're not technically allowed to give out gold medals for random things that we come across on Facebook, but if we could, today it would go out to the superintendent over in Parma for his performance of Blue Suede Shoes.
2 for the show, 3 to get ready. Now go, can't go, but don't you step on my blue suede shoes. You can do anything but lay out for my blue suede shoes, blue suede shoes.
You know, I got to check my contacts. I don't know if that's Elvis Presley or if that's Superintendent Stoney Winston up in that area. He says he often belts out songs during the school day, whether it's in the cafeteria like you just saw or while on crosswalk duty in the mornings. He says that he and his staff usually perform at the middle school talent show, but COVID has kept them from doing that. So it's great. We love it. And there must be something over in the water in Parma, because you may remember this. In October of 2020, we introduced you to a 14-year-old who paid tribute to the late Eddie Van Halen with an epic guitar solo during lunch. So we got to get the superintendent and this stud shredder together for some Parma rock and roll, right? Rock out, Parma. We'll be right back. All right, you ever want to connect with us when we're not on your TV? Well, you are in luck. There are so many ways to connect with us over social media and all kinds of things, after hours, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, email. If you yell loud enough, Brian Holmes may hear you. You never know. Feel free to send us an email or leave us a voicemail, because we love talking with you and hearing your insight. And if you ever miss any editions of the 208, you can go onto our KTVB YouTube page, and you can actually usually find the 208 episode almost immediately after it's finalized the great digital team here gets it back online. All right, let's get to some comments here to wrap this up. This person says, I'm so excited. My granddaughter, Carly Margillis, is on the U.S. Olympic women's freestyle halfpipe team. The qualifying event is Wednesday, 2:16, finals on Thursday, 2:17. So we'll be keeping a close eye on that. Good luck. We're supporting the locals here. This person says, very nice story about the BSU Legacy Project. Illuminating less well-known parts of our history is beneficial and appreciated. That from Bill J. Yes, thank you very much, Bill J. And thank you to those athletes for chatting with us. Jan says, thanks for the coverage of Black History Month. I'm really learning and enjoying your news stories. And finally, this person says, thanks for bringing a smile. The Olympics, Shira, the nails fixed. What a great time. We'll see you Monday.